Hello, it's the day after. I've cleaned all this master cylinder, painted it, cleaned all the push rod, greased it, set it so it's not tight so I can adjust it if need be, and assembled that up. I've used the same boot because this one didn't seem to fit very well. Okay, so I've used the cap off the old one, off the old one. The old one didn't look too bad, but it looked like there might have just been a tiniest little bit of rust near the edge, and some little bits of rust on the seal. So I think if it was all cleaned up, it'd actually be okay. Put my finger around on the inside of here. There's like big lumps in the casting. It's not a very high quality casting. This one does feel okay inside. And I've washed it out, got the machining bits out, and I'm going to try and fit it now. I've cleaned all the bolts and I'll put some copper grease on them before I fit them. So yeah, let's hope it goes back together okay. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Ooh. Okay. Okay, well that went in okay. I might need to clean these connections up. I'll see if the brake lights work. I'll clean that bolt up and put that in, you know, as the pivot point. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. I have to have this long bolt because I have to hook the spring on up here. I've got a locking nut that goes onto it somewhere. Got a spring here somewhere. I don't know where the spring's supposed to go to, but I've got it hooked onto a sort of like a hook. That goes into the hole. Oop, it goes into the anti-chatter rod hole. Okay, let's try and sort that out. That's got it. Okay. That's better. That pedal pulls it up now. Rather, that's better. The springs, the pedal's moving freely now. This was all seized up before. And I'm pretty sure it was this push rod in the pedal that was seized, in there that was seized. And that's all nice and free now. So the big question is, how do I bleed it? First of all, I'm not bench bleeding it. I don't believe bench bleeding is a sort of early Ford single cylinder thing. I think it's something that's coming more recently with dual circuits and things like that. Okay, let me have a think about the bleeder, then I'll bring you back when I've had a look at that. But there's the cylinder in place, and you know, hopefully okay. Hello. I've set up a bleeding system. I'm hoping that's bleeding from there up through this bleed nipple and going forward to the cylinder. If it is, it hasn't made it yet. Wonder if it's something to do with the residual valve. Maybe that won't work with this system because of that residual valve on the end there. I'm not sure. Maybe I could put a little bit of fluid in here. See if any air bubbles are coming out. Doesn't look like it's coming out though. It's been on there for a few minutes now. Okay, let's just leave it a minute, because where is it? It's just at the top, almost at the top of the E on the easy bleed. Okay, I've closed that because I don't think it's working. What I have to remember is to undo this. Otherwise the fluid comes flying out of here. Doesn't matter what you do, you end up making a mess with this thing. Okay, I'll do it the way I normally do my early Fords then. I'll put some fluid in the cylinder instead and then pressure bleed it from the cylinder towards the wheels. It was the 100E that needed this backwards bleeding setup. Okay, let me get set up for that then. In here is a adapter that I made. And this adapter is actually off the cylinder that I'm using. I'll go and clean this up a bit. It's got a bit rusty, and then I'll hook it up and try and use it. Just put some fluid in, and I think I'll put a little bit more in than I meant to. Let me see if just get rid of a few bubbles just by moving the pedal gently. Well, actually, funny enough, there is a pedal there. There's a pedal there. You don't want to bang on the pedal without the cap in place, because it's that's what happens. That's why you need the cap in place. It's not good that you have that much spurtage actually, because that means you've got loss of travel. You're throwing away potential brake pedal travel that you could have. I don't know if I want to bother bleeding them, because that seems pretty good, to be honest. I could bleed it, couldn't I suppose, just get some out. That's got a pedal, you see. Well, as soon as I've got the car all jacked up and the brake fluid reservoir and tyre ready, I might as well bleed it through, and that'll put new fluid into everything, won't it, instead of the old fluid that has been sitting there. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. A bit hard to film because, you know, you need both hands. This is the adapter I made, and this cap is the cap that came from that cylinder. I needed a metal cap that I could drill and tap, which I've done there. That's an inch square, that is. So I'll just get a spanner and nip that gently. Brittle, made in England, 100 AF, 1 inch. That'll do. I'll get set up then, and I'll show you how I get on. Okay. Right, I've pressurised the thing. I've put that there. That's hooked up to there, and that's pressurised now. So if I go to the back and open the bleed nipple, that'll push fluid through, in theory. So I need I've got another bowl, another thing that I use for catching it. Hang on. This is a dirty old canister, but it'll catch the old brake fluid. Let's just try this. flowing through nicely and air coming out, so that's good. So when that looks clean and no air coming out, that's it. I'll say good at that actually. I had to get a socket onto this blader on this side. It was very tight. I have just cracked it though, so I should be able to get the spanner on it. That's pushing clean fluid through actually, and no air. That's good, isn't it? Okay, good. All the air must have come out on the first side. Okay, good. Okay, you don't need to see me do it, but I'll repeat that on the front, the two front ones, and then, you know, hopefully that should be done. Okay, right, so I've just finished bleeding the front brakes. Everything's still hooked up. So I'll disconnect the pressure. There we go. The level in the thing is right the way down there, so that's how much fluid has gone through, right from the top of the E down to there. So that's quite a bit, I think. Okay, yeah. So what does the... Yeah, look at that, it's right up there now. You see that? Can you see the pedal? It's right up there now. Okay, it won't be as good as that because I've got to de-adjust the brakes yet. I've got them all adjusted up solid, so I will disconnect the pipe, take out that adapter, put the original cap back in, and hopefully we can call that good. Okay, back in a bit then. I thought as soon as the car's been standing for a number of years, it might be a good idea to pull the drums, just make sure the wheel bearings look okay, and have a quick look at the brakes. I've pulled this one, and from what I can see, this shoe here looks okay. That one on the back. This one on the front looks rather thin, and you can see here it's almost down to the rivets, and you can see down there that the wear pattern isn't very good because it hasn't even touched there, but you'd have to say the wear pattern across the surface is pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, and this one's making most of the contact in this area here, and it looks like that one's got a spacer behind it. Interesting. Okay, the other thing that I can see is there's a hint of moisture in there. It looks worse with the camera on it, so it looks like this wheel cylinder might be just about getting ready to start leaking. It might have just leaked in the last day when I drove it after being standing for such a while. You know, it might have been not liked being moved. I don't know if I have a wheel cylinder. I don't know, I'll have to look. But I thought I would get the others off as well and have a look at those. I can see that I want to knock that a little bit, straighten that because it's this way. That one's alright, I think. Okay, so yeah, not great. These are the early type with the adjustable bottom pivots. So that could do with a new wheel cylinder. Okay, I will pull the other side and have a look at that and bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, this is the right hand front wheel. This one's got plenty of meat on it. This one's not as bad as the other one, just about okay. Again, the cylinders appear to have a little bit of moistness to them. I don't want to disturb them in case I haven't got anything to put on there, because I think they're still working okay. They're okay, I think. Might just be like, well, just microscopic amounts. Now there's fluid there, look. Yeah, okay. That is fluid, isn't it? Oops. So I just want to move that. Yeah, that's just leaked a bit of fluid now. Just for the record, the master cylinder wasn't empty when I went to it. It isn't like these have been leaking and emptied the master cylinder. Everything, you know, there's plenty of fluid in the master cylinder. Okay, so I certainly want a pair of front cylinders, don't I? That's a pain, isn't it? But it's been at least 10 years since I built this car. Possibly more, probably more. Okay, righto. So yeah, the drums look okay. The shoes look okay on this side. I'll have a look, see what shoes I've got. I've only got kind of lightly used second-hand ones, so I'll have to just pick the best ones that I've got. But I think the front one, no, the rear ones can stay, and I could do with replacing the front ones. So I'll see what I've got. I did put new ones, didn't I, on the 32? I relined them, so I suppose I could reline these, couldn't I? I could reline these ones if I've got some more lining material. Okay, right, looks like I'm not going to be driving this one for a little bit then. I probably won't do it today, but I'll pull the rear hubs, and when I put it all back together again, I will put aircraft nuts on here, which are the ones I like to use. Can you see that this has got the early type drums, even though it's got hydraulic brakes? Okay, righto. So I'm just looking at some of this rust. What I'm slowly working my way around to is that this car needs some rework. Okay, I'm thinking I might leave it at that because it's getting a bit late. Ruby's been nice, she's been digging up the lawn, what little there is of it. Getting to be quite big now. Okay, righto. So there we are. So yeah, 1 step forward and 2 steps back, literally. Okay, righto. Take care then. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I've got the 33 Coupe up on the stands, and I've pulled the front drums. I've identified that this shoe is very thin. The rest are okay. And I've got a suitable good used replacement there. I've also identified that the front cylinders are leaking, and I've ordered some new ones. I've also ordered some kits for the rear cylinders. I haven't seen the rear cylinders yet. I'm just about to pull the hubs. So I thought I would use my vintage precision hub puller and pull the hubs. So I thought I'd put the camera on because it's quite interesting to see how the hubs come off, because it's very difficult to get these hubs off. If they come off easily, they're not tight enough. So I'll put the camera in the tripod and show you that. This is the hub puller, VP, a rear hub puller, vintage precision. There's the pieces. You can tell by the way that's indented there how much force it takes. You put this on here. You put it on and then you back it off a little bit like that. And I always put it so that it's horizontal like that. The two ears are horizontal. And you put this piece on. Put that piece on. Then this piece goes over like that. Okay. Now I need an 1.1" socket and an 1.1" spanner, which I will now go and get. I'll move the thing back a little bit so you can see the bigger picture. Can you see that I've put a thing under the end of the spanner? Axle stand. And I will get a socket. That's about 30. Oh, I don't know how long that is. It's about a 2-foot bar, and I'm leaning on it. I'll move you back a bit so you can see the big picture. Okay, ready? That is a lot of torque. Put a bit more up. I'll try giving her a knock with the mallet. If you don't fear for your mortal life, they're not tight enough. Jesus Christ. That went, didn't it? Bloody hell. You see where I was worried about my back? I hadn't got enough power with 2 spanners, even the length of them. If you don't have them that tight, you can damage the keyways. And you can break a half shaft. And you can see why there's a indentation there off the end of the bolt, that is. That's interesting. I think there's fluid there. So it looks like the back ones have been leaking as well. Let's have a look, see what's going on. It does look like there's fluid in that drum. Bear in mind, I woke this car after it had been parked for a long time. So it might be that we've had a bit of leakage here. I had to grind these drums, these brake shoes, because they were touching the drum, because you're not supposed to use these drums with these brakes. So this is a bit not great, but it's just the way it is. Yeah, I've bought rebuild kits for these, so I'll put new seals in them. But the shoes look okay. Shoes have got plenty of life in them. Bear in mind the mileage that I do is very low. So this side looks okay, other than putting some seals on there. Just in that I could see something in the drum there, look. You see that? Don't quite know what that is. Could be oil actually. Yeah, could be oil, I'm not sure. So it all needs a good wash out, doesn't it? But I mean, this isn't full of oil. Okay, anyway, it's not too bad. It all needs a clean. I'll do the seals anyway. The shoes look okay. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Let's get the other side off as well. Well, I don't know why that's gone without a bang. That one don't look too bad. Going by my own guidelines, I'd say that that one wasn't tight enough, because it should have come off with more of a bang than that. Can you see that there's grease on the taper? I got an idea that that key should have been in a different way around, because there's a taper there which is supposed to go there. Don't know if that was holding the hub. Anyway, it's off. Haven't got very good light here. That looks a little bit moist. There's a bit of moisture there, look. See down there? So I'd say that this one could benefit from some new seals. The reason I'm saying seals rather than a cylinder is because I want to avoid buying yet more cylinders that are drilled incorrectly. These are old cylinders that I resealed, and they've got the right drillings. These will clean up. This is a little bit I'll just check that there. That looks like it might be a bit shallow. Yeah, I might put a new shoe on there. This one looks alright, got plenty of depth. Okay. Again, a little bit oily in there. This was just kind of reassembled more or less with what was on there. Then I found when I went round bends that there was rubbing, so I ground the end of the shoes there. You know, probably not the greatest thing to do, but it was appeared to do the trick. This axle's a bit noisy actually. Yeah, and I've got some rust issues to contend with. So I'm also kind of doing a bit of a rust survey. I knew about that because I rewired that. Well, it's not terribly bad, not terribly bad. I don't know why it is that kids feel like they need to scream all the time. Yeah, I can feel myself drawn towards doing some repairs. That needs kind of dismantling and new metal making, doesn't it, and a welded repair. The chassis is surface rusted, but not any deep. It's not deeply rusted anywhere that I'm aware of. That's bad. This bit here is bad as well, down there, look, see. That bit of bodywork isn't good. There should be a clearly defined rib there. Okay, right. I believe the fenders on one of the sides, it might have been this side, were taken off at one point. I think this side, because I got a photo of the car with it fenderless on this side from before I bought it. I think the previous owner just wanted to see what it would look like fenderless. I've had these out. That's been out, and that's been out, and that's been out, and that's been out, and these have been out. These little panels here, because I got the tank out. I had the tank out, and these are where my shock absorber brackets go on. Okay, so I can see what's going on now. I need to dismantle the brakes, all four corners to be honest, and reassemble with some new parts, which will be a while before they get here. So this job will sit now for a little while, but obviously from the point of view of the video, it'll only just be a short while. Anyway, I thought I'd show you the hub puller in action. It works very well, and you can see from the amount of pressure I had to put on the other side how tight they can be. And I was a little bit surprised when this one kind of gave up with a whimper rather than a bang, which might explain why there's oil on the surface. I think this needs to come out and it get turned round. Okay, righto. Okie doke. I think that's got a few miles left on it. Bear in mind, you know, I hardly do any miles on it at all. And when I do, it doesn't get driven hard. Okay, yeah, I think I'll just leave that, especially as the shoe's been ground, so... the other side's okay, I think. Yeah, this side's okay. Better, in fact. Yeah, this side's... I'll probably similar actually to the other side, but, you know, okay. It's got some life left in it. Okay. Righto. A little bit disappointed that I'm not able to just jump in it and drive it. Although I could jump in it and drive it, but I don't really want to do it with leaking wheel cylinders, because the cylinders are leaking, but only just started leaking, and they haven't contaminated the shoes, for instance. But it runs and it does drive. So yeah, so the next time I'm able to, I'll get it all back together and I'll take it for a little run around. Okay, thanks very much for joining me in the garage. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Hello. I have in my stash of parts some rear wheel cylinders. Pardon me. Now, in the early Ford community, there's a common understanding that a lot of rear wheel cylinders were machined incorrectly, and Dick Spadaro, if I'm saying that name right, he's left us now, he's gone, but I discussed this with him, and I looked at these wheel cylinders, and you see that the bleed nipple goes straight down and that the drilling is at an angle there for the feed. Well, that feed is drilled at the wrong angle. The result is that the hole that it feeds into is drilled part way up the bore. Can you see that the drilling for the bleed nipple is down near the shoulder, and the drilling for the feed is further up the bore? Well, the problem is, if the piston's all the way back, that's just a complete and utter leak path. It's not viable at all. So in other words, these wheel cylinders, even though they're brand new and they cost, you know, a lot of money, by the time you get them to the UK, are scrap. Not only scrap, but dangerous. But all these parts here are perfectly good parts, all brand new. So what I think I'm going to do, instead of waiting for the parts to arrive that I've ordered, I'll use these parts to rebuild the wheel cylinders that are in the car. I'll try and find an original wheel cylinder and show you the difference. Hang on. Here's another one I've just found. It's brand new, never been fitted because it's drilled wrong. So that can be added to the scrap pile. You know, I've probably spent £300 on cylinders that don't fit. Here's an original cylinder. Can you see that the angle of that drilling is a lot shallower? I'll find a drill that goes down through there. Hang on. I was looking at that there and I was thinking, well, that looks well up the bore, but that's not the side. That's the side, look, where it goes in. That's the hole. Can you see it's right down by the shoulder? There, it's just poking through there. Look, see, right down by the shoulder. Roughly in line with where the drilling for the bleed nipple drilling is there. There's the bleed nipple drilling there, look. See, it's right on the shoulder there. You see the shoulder there? That's on the shoulder. There's the drilling. And there's the drilling for the feed. Here's one of the incorrectly made ones. And the drilling for the bleed nipple is down there. But the drilling for the shoulder is probably about getting on for a quarter of an inch further up the bore than it should be. So these are scrap, that's scrap, this is an original. Anyway, so that's the story with early Ford wheel cylinders. There are lots out there that are scrap. I mean, that's the front one, look. That's a front one. It looks new. Actually, I wonder if it is new. That one might be new as well. These look new. These are fronts. I wonder if I might be able to use these. I might clean these up and see if I can use these on the front. I didn't know I'd got these. They look new, don't they? It looks like some I've picked up from somewhere. Okay, I might tear these down and have a good look at these. Okay. Glad I had a look in there now, and I had a look to do that comparison. And there's some guts that I've saved out of cylinders, look, before. Okay. There's another new one there, look. Drilled wrong. You know. And I know I've thrown others away as well. I've thrown more away than this. Right, anyway, I thought I'd just show you that. You've got to watch how they're drilled. The angle looks like that. It's okay. If the angle looks like that, it's not okay. I've forgotten about these cylinders. Yeah, let's clean these up and see if they'll go on the car. Okay, righto. That saved me waiting a week. Okay, back in a bit then. Hello. I use these, which is a pair of loppers that I modified as a spring stretcher pliers, and took the shoes off. I've cleaned up that eccentric. Oops. I've cleaned up that eccentric and cleaned this up. I had a close look at the wheel cylinders that I've just found. And there's a couple of things that's making me hold off from wanting to use them. And that is on one of these, I think. I don't know if you can read it. I don't know if it'll focus in and read it. I think it says Industria Argentina. On the other hand, it does say 1 3/8, which is a good sign. Now, if I was really stuck, I would use them, but I've actually ordered some new ones. Okay, you're going to say, well, where are the new ones made, Mart? Well, we all know where the new ones are made. The other thing that puts me off is the fact that this is shown signs of aging. They've never even been on a vehicle. I also need to clean my file my nail, don't I? Never even been on a vehicle, look. So I think on reflection I might not use these. They look okay, they look fine, but it's just that perception of quality, isn't it? And the fact that these are Industria Argentina probably means they're what, 70s or 80s or something like that. 70s, 80s, 90s. At least the new ones, even though they're made in China, probably made in China, will be brand new. The seals will be brand new. So once again, I won't be able to continue the job for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to have a break anyway because we're going away for a few days, but hopefully when I come back the new wheel cylinders will be in, so I'll be able to continue the job. So that's how the car is sitting, and when you see this I'll be back. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for subscribing, thanks for clicking like, thanks for leaving a comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.